March the 4th, that's going to be my very first Trauma to Triumph brunch slash symposium. It's going to be phenomenal. Only 100 tickets are going to be sold. So if you're not in the 100, you are going to be left out of the very first Trauma to Triumph. It's going to be the first of many, and it's going to be on March the 4th. So mark your calendars for that. And real quick, I'll just tell you all, before I bring in Amenna, I want to tell you all, because some of you all may not know what this is all about. I started this project back in April, and my intent is to get enough episodes filmed so that we can go to the table and get a yes from OWN or a yes from Netflix or whomever that is. We don't know who that is, but we're claiming together that it's going to be a yes. And I'm taking all of y'all with me. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So if you riding and down with me now in the trenches, listen, the sky's going to be the limit for us. So thank you all for that. I'm going to bring in Amenna now, my amazing lady for tonight. All right. I think I did it successfully.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi!
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Yes, you look fine.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for being a part of Trauma to Triumph. Thank you so much for being just an amazing, strong woman you have grown into. So thank you for that. I always like to start by thanking you, first of all, for your yes, for being a part of this amazing project.
Yes.
Thank you. And so before we get really into it, I want you to just I introduced you, but I'd like for you to have an opportunity to just introduce yourself as who you are today. And then we will go back to the beginning of when, your childhood, and I'll allow you to share your story.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Amenna. And who I am now, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a motivational speaker. I do cupcakes, call Mimi Oreo cupcakes, and also Hustle for Jesus. And
Hey.
I'm always doing God's work, and that never stops. So that's what I do.
Yes, I love it. Never stop doing God's work. I'm here for that.
Mhm. Yes.
Well, they all know who I am. I'm Terry Long again, for those who have joined late. And where we're going to talk about Amenna's journey. And your journey started as a young child.
Mhm.
And let's just get right into it. I mean, you had trauma enter your life from a medical perspective at a very early age. Your story really tugged at my heart. And so tell us about it.
Well, I got sick at the age of 5. The age of 5 years old. I had to get my kidneys out about 6 or 7. So I had to get both of my kidneys out. But during that 5 years old, I kept having seizures, seizures after seizures after seizures. And my mommy didn't know what was going on with me at the time until they took me to the hospital. I was at Children's, and after I went to Children's, they had to do all these tests. Like, I'm talking about so many tests just to see what was causing me to have seizures.
Mm-hmm.
And my blood pressure high. My blood pressure was at least about 200 something.
And you're a
And they,
child.
yep, and as a child. And so I had to, so they had to do that. They took these tests. And then later on, they found out that I had symptomatic lupus. That's what's causing the seizures. But it already destroyed both of my kidneys.
Oh,
See, they couldn't find it at first, what was causing the seizures or what was making my blood pressure so high. So it by the time they found it, the time they found out that what happened, what was going on with my body, I already lost my kidneys. My kidneys was not working at all, neither one of them.
wow.
And so my mommy was so afraid because she was like, what's going to happen to my daughter? You know, what's going to happen to my baby? And I had to go to surgery. They told my mommy that I had to get both of my kidneys taken out
Mm.
at that time, and I think I was about 7. Yeah, 7 years old when I got my both of my kidneys out. 6 or 7 years old when I got both of my kidneys out. And my mommy asked the surgeon, how am I going to live? How you going to live? How my baby going to live without her kidneys? And they said she's going to have to be on dialysis. So I had to be on my first actual dialysis machine was peritoneal dialysis. It actually you could do it at home. It was through the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And I prayed. I asked God, please please, I don't want to do that one because it was hurting. So when it did it, it started hurting. So when it started draining and everything, it started hurting real bad. And you're only 6 or 7 years old, so you don't understand why you have to go through all this pain. And
Mm-hmm.
and so you crying, asking people, no, I don't want to do it. So then it got infected. So I was not saying that I was happy about the infection, but I was happy that I didn't have to be put on that machine.
Right.
And so I had to be on hemodialysis, which I was afraid of needles. So either one, it wasn't no big. It was a big one for me because I had to face something, you know. And so I got on hemodialysis, and it was these big needles, and I had to get 2 needles at a time, and the needles were 16 gauge needles actually. So I had to
And
get.
you're a child. You're a little
Mhm.
girl.
I had to get a graft. It's called a graft on your arm, which is right here. You see the graft? This
I
is the
see.
graft.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get a graft on your arm. They use 2 types of grafts, but since I don't have big veins, they gave me the AV graft. Okay, so that's the tube going through your veins to help your veins go big, get bigger.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to learn, I had to get that. The first time I got on dialysis, I was so afraid because all I see is needles, all I'm thinking about is them needles saying. But
Yeah.
they gave me the freeze. It's like this freeze to help it calm the spot. So once it calmed it down, I was okay. So I was like, okay, can I get it all the time? And as you know, like I said, I'm just a kid, so I gotta ask questions. Can I get it all the time? And they said no. You gotta get used to the needles. You gotta get used to the sticks because
Yeah.
they said that the freezer would start to mess with if you get it all the time. It would start messing with the graft. So I said, so I started crying because I said I don't want to get used to no needles.
Mm-hmm.
And so later on down the line, I did receive me a kidney transplant. But after all that, it was rough for me because I was getting bullied. My skin complexion changed. I was darker than most of my family, so I was getting bullied in school. I even
Oh my
cried. Yep,
gosh.
I cried home and told my mommy I didn't want to go home. Go to school no more because I would always have to run or go to the teacher lounge because the people would tease me all the time because I had to have different food. I couldn't eat no salt. So my mommy had to fix my food all the time. Plus I couldn't use the bathroom. So when it was bathroom break, I pretend to use the bathroom.
So I was going to ask you about that. For those of us, you can educate some of us about this a little bit. As a child, if you don't have your both of your kidneys were removed, right?
hmm
So if you don't have kidneys and how do you use the bathroom?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't use the bathroom. You don't. You can't use the bathroom without kidneys. So the machine was my bathroom. It would take all the toxins, all the potassium, all that out. Only thing I could do was bowel movement, and that was it. I
Okay.
couldn't I couldn't use
Right.
do
That's what I
number
mean. You
one.
couldn't, pee. Go pee.
No, I couldn't do that.
Wow.
Um, yep. So
Wow.
they so, but days came on, I went to camp and my lupus flared up. So that's why I had the knot in my head. So my head had to get all cut off, and I got teased over that because I had to wear this band around my head. And that made me be placed in the burn unit. I was in a burn unit at that time. And I tell you, when I went in the burn unit, you see all these people there. You see all these people with children. You see all these burnt babies, you know. And at the time, I'm a kid too, you know, not understanding what's going on. But you thinking, you still feel sympathy for them because they actually are in a burn unit, you know. So you like, why am I here, you know? And you see all these kids. I mean, I seen I seen a lot. I mean, to be that young. And then I got out, and that's when I had to have the little band on my head. But they teased me so bad I had to get my doctor and my nurses down there so they could explain to the kids why that happened to me. But I think my class started feeling bad for what was going on with me because they came to visit me at Children's with this little it was with this little pink and white Converse, and it had little money in it. So I was so happy. I was like, oh my goodness, oh, this is nice, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, and my teacher, and I thought that was real nice. That they finally understood what I was going through. I
Right.
used to miss a lot of science fairs. I used to miss a lot of trips because I had to be at dialysis at 12 o'clock.
How
So
often did you have to have dialysis? How often is that?
3 times a day. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Monday, Wednesday, 3 times a day. Yep. I did. Three, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So 3 times a week.
Week. Yep. 3 times a week.
Okay, but if you, so in between the 3 times a week, you just don't use the bathroom as far as having to pee.
Mm-mm. No. And that's why they tell you to watch your fluid. They tell you to watch your
Okay.
fluid. Um, but that was a hard thing for me because I liked it to drink
Yeah, you're a
juices.
kid.
Yeah, I like to drink juices, and oh my goodness, it was a strict diet. Oh, I couldn't even stand being on this diet. But
Wow.
my grandma, which has passed away, um, my grandma B, my mommy would take me over there, and she don't eat salt or none of that stuff. So she knew the house to bring me over to get me in check.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there, and my grandma put it down just like this. You ain't eating no salt, no nothing. Just
Mm-hmm.
better get used to this no salt pretzels and there's no salt potato chips and all that. Everything she had was no salt. So it was
You had that type
so it
watch
turned
you.
out mhm. So
So
it turned
so
out to be easy for me.
okay, so tell us about how old were you when you were able to get a kidney transplant?
My first kidney transplant I was about 11. Yeah,
Okay.
11 or 10 years old. I was about 11 or 10 when I first got my first kidney transplant. But it didn't last that long. It crashed. And the doctors knew it. Doctors knew it wasn't going to last that long because it was an old kidney.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to have a younger kidney instead of an old kidney because the younger kidneys last long and the older kidneys doesn't. So they knew that the creatinine was going to go up on the kidney, but they wanted me off dialysis. So they said, well, at least let her um have some time off dialysis. So that
Right.
was good for me, but it was bad for me too because then I got right back on dialysis.
Right. So when did things start getting to a point? When did you get another transplant that actually worked and where you could start, like, you know what I mean? Like living somewhat of a normal life.
Okay, when I got now that I have my kidney transplant, I got my kidney transplant in 2020 during the pandemic. So I got my
Uh-huh.
kidney transplant. Yep. I got my kidney transplant and I was so happy about that because I've been, matter of fact, let me tell you how that happened to me. I was in church because I go to Victorious Life of Faith Church um, on Marlboro Pike, Detroit, Maryland. Oh, my pastor, which is my pastor now, his name is Pastor Victor Fur. And we was just having so much fun in church this day. And God spoke to me that day and said, you gonna get your kidney. And I'm telling you, when I say that things was happening, like 1 minute I get a call and then it'll be like, okay, come on, you gotta come to the ER. Gotta come to the ER. So I go up there, boom, boom, boom. And then I get, it wasn't that time. So I said, okay, I'm gonna stay encouraged because God told me I'm gonna get a kidney. I say about the third or fourth time I came up there, it was time. But I had some setbacks before the kidney. I had an infection in my graft, the
Mm.
stent. It was like a stent in my arm that got infected. So it kind of threw me off a limp, because I had to learn how to walk again.
Mm.
Um, far as my the stent infection, had to learn how to
Mm-hmm.
walk, and that was like really bad for me. I never even had an infection before, so that was like my first infection that happened in my graft, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on with me? But in the time when God told me I was gonna get a transplant, I just had surgery on my graft. You
Mm.
see, and I had just enough weight to do the surgery, but then I had to it took all that away from me once I got my kidney. So I
Mm.
had some little triumphs coming to do that. I had some little trials that I had to go through. Like I had to gain weight. I had to be on a feeding tube. I had to do all these things to get to the healthy Amenna that I am today. I had to find I'm telling you, I looked so skinny. I was like, oh my goodness. I was afraid that I was going to die because I was so
Wow.
skinny. I was like this small. And then even the doctor told me that she was afraid for me. She was afraid for my life because she was like, you're not eating.
Wow.
And I was worried because I was like, it's not me. It's just I don't have no appetite to eat. And I try to eat, but it's like it's not enough. So I needed something, needed a little help in that department. And she was afraid. So she told me I had to get admitted back into the hospital. And that was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get it.
You have gone through so much starting at age 5 a minute. I mean, my heart goes out to you. I mean, you didn't get to live a normal childhood. You didn't get to be the normal teenager. So tell us just briefly what it was like being a teenager and getting your period and still having to deal with the not having the kid. Like how do you
I went
handle all
through
of that as a teenager?
I went through a lot as a teenager. I also went through a lot when I lost my brother slash cousin. Because he was like more of my protector from bullies and all that. So I went through suicide. Actually, I died. And because I said I went to school, went to school. I was in community college. I just graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I'm gonna go ahead and go to community college just to get away from some things. And I haven't dealt with that death yet. I haven't dealt with that. I was just pretending like, that he gonna come back to me. He gonna come through that door. So I'm in denial the whole time. And next thing I know, this is what I mean by going through depression. I went through that very bad. I didn't even know that I was going through depression. But when I when I say my teacher told me to write a paper, it was called The Meaning of Life. And at the time I didn't even know what the meaning of life was because I was so down. And so that day, me and my friends, we went to Chili's. Everybody was having fun. That's the day I said I was going to end my life that day.
Take your life.
I didn't want to be here no more. That was it. I was looking at them, and all I remember me looking at them, having fun and crying because I knew that that day was going to be my last day because I was like, I can't take
Mm,
this. I didn't want to be here no more. And especially I didn't want to fight, you know, fight my own fight no more. I
yeah.
had a protector. Now he gone. So now and it was so hard for me. But what I'm saying is through that depression and through my suicide, I learned a lot. I learned how to love Amina, how to fight
Yeah.
for Amina, and I know that I'm not weak, so it was only but the devil telling me that. And I learned that. I had to learn that God spared me. I mean,
Mm.
he could have let me die. He let me see my mom while I was, in the spirit realm. I actually died on the table and I saw my mommy holding my hand, calling me Mimi. And I'm telling you, once he told me to go back, I was so furious with God because he told me to go back into that sick body, depressed body, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to go back there. Why I want to go back
Mm.
there in that body?" And it took my sister, my big sister, because I'm the baby in the family. So it took my big sister to get me to. She invited me to the church, Victorious Life of Faith Church. And when I tell you, when my pastor prayed over me, I was so scared to go to the front. My my other sister Sabrina ran, pushed me up there, told me to go up there. He prayed over me, but that day, when I tell you, Miss Terry, I felt God that day. I said something was moving. Like I told I asked my sister Brenda, "What's that? What's that?" And she said, "What's what?" I said, "I feel something." I said, "I feel something." And she said, "That ain't you don't you feel nothing but God." And I was like, "For real? Then I want whatever that is that I need." Because so I started going towards church, going towards God, and I got saved and everything started to change for me. I'm telling you, my life started changing. It was like I wasn't thinking about my sickness anymore. Like I wasn't thinking about my brother slash cousin death anymore because now I know that he's in a better place. I even asked God to allow me to just hear his voice one time. And God let me hear his voice one time. And I was so happy because I'm telling you, I've been through a
Oh,
lot.
a lot. A
And
lot.
it's like, yes. And as a young woman now, I'm looking like, okay, I could see this, but if I was able to
Mm.
look back and tell a little girl, I'd be like, God got you, God got you. I've been raped twice. I was raped twice. I was
Oh,
raped at
yeah.
first. My first rape was used to talk about my teenage years. I was raped twice at 15, and then as a about in my 20s in my younger adult life, I was raped in my apartment where I stay at in my apartment building. So it was very hard for me as a younger, like in my 20s, as a younger female on my own, because I tell you, when you
Mm.
and this was the round of time that I was coming to God. I'm telling you, this was around the second time I got raped, was around the time I was coming to God. And I knew right then and there that nothing but the devil. And yes, I did rebel a little bit, but I came back because I said, no, you ain't gonna trick me like that no more. You're not gonna get me like that. And I was so happy from ever since then I've been in God, I've been so happy and blessed. You might have your bad days, but you got to understand when God is in the midst of anything,
Mm.
everything good, the good outweigh the bad all the time.
All the time. Listen. So you were raped at 15, Amina?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
was that your first experience with sex?
No. Um, no, it wasn't.
No, that's fine. You don't have to tell
No.
us your personal business, but
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I said no, but that wasn't my first experience with that.
and then it happened to you again in your young 20s.
Mm-hmm.
God is
Yeah.
faithful, though. God is
Yes,
so
he is.
faithful.
Yes, he is. He's very amazing. I've been um just going on with God and doing what God want me to do, even in my situation. I still I still go towards God, no matter what the situation may look like. You might have your, like I said, I might have my bad days, and I do sometimes. I really do. Sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm going back into depression mode. I'll be like, nah, I tell the devil, no, you're a liar. I'm not going back there. And so I try to help others. Like it's a lady that I help. She's older. She's in her 50s. And I help her all the time because I know how it feels to lose somebody you're close to. Like you're really close to, it's hard to get over sometimes. But I learned to rejoice in that because God said rejoice in the dead. Rejoice in it. And I love it. Once I figure things out for myself and learn how to love God and love myself, things start to flow. Things
Yeah,
start to
you
flow.
see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you got your last kidney transplant, you said that was like 2020, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
How has your health been since then? Are you able to use the bathroom now, like, regularly, like a regular person would?
Yes. And when I first got my kidney, oh my goodness, in 20, I was so happy. That's the first thing I was really happy about. Cause you haven't, I'm sorry, you haven't peed in a long time.
Right. No, you can say that's what I wanted to know. I'm like,
Yes,
you haven't been able to pee on your
yes.
own and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all your life.
Yes, so I was so excited when I when I did use the bathroom. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm using the bathroom." And I'm telling you, and it was kind of scary though. I'm not gonna lie, it was scary because I was up there by myself. It was during the pandemic, and my mommy couldn't be up there. Nobody, my sisters, nobody couldn't be up there. So that was the first time, to be honest, I was alone
Yeah.
without my mom. And I was like, oh my goodness. But don't get it wrong. I was calling them every 2, 3 minutes
Yeah.
up there. But it
Wow.
was great. It was so great when I first got to use the bathroom. I was like, oh my goodness, I feel normal.
Yeah, you get to go pee.
Yes,
We take
yes.
so
I
many,
said,
my husband just said that we take so many things in life for granted. And listening to your struggles of a 5-year-old child going through those seizures, and then you're 7, losing both of your kidneys,
mm-hmm.
not
And
being able
seizures is
to,
not a joke.
you're in elementary school for bathroom break and you can't go pee. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You having to go 3 times a week for
Mm-hmm.
dialysis as a little girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as an adult too.
Yeah, but pretty much all of that time.
All
But
that time.
now, but
Yes, but
now,
now it's on and popping. I'll be like,
yeah,
no more, no more that. But I love
yeah,
I love it because what it did for me is got the others. The others that's in the that's doing dialysis that was in my unit. Now they are trying to get their kidney. They
yeah.
see me, they like, oh, I'm gonna give mine. Give them courage to get their kidney. I be like, go for it, go for it. It's another life. But yeah.
Wow. So are there other medical things you still have to go through, with this kidney transplant, even though it was successful, thank God, and you're able to now pee on your own? Is there
hmm
something residual that you'll always have to like go through with
Well,
the
I'm gonna have to take my kidney medicine for life.
okay.
That's it. And the only thing that I worry about sometimes is my creatinine because it goes up and down. It goes up and down towards my weight. Like if I get too heavy, maybe it might go up. If I get too, like if I stay in the norm, it go back down. So that's all I've been trying to do is get it at a balance. Because it's
Tell people who don't,
sometimes,
because a lot of people don't understand this realm of kidney failure and that kind of stuff. When you said about your numbers, what does that mean? Like the short version.
oh, okay. The creatinine is the blood levels in your in the kidney.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And it could go when I say it goes up, I mean the numbers go up. Like
Okay.
it's say for instance, it can't go over, let's say mine's at 2.2 probably. They don't want it even at 2.2. They want it 1.4.
Okay. So
Okay,
that's
they
you
want
have to continue to
1.4.
watch that and monitor that for the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if it go like 2.8, 2.9, that means it's something going on. They have to check it. So
Okay.
yes, and you have to take your medicine every day. Have to
Okay.
take your medicine every day. Take it on time. Even if my doctor told me, even if you don't take it on time, take it.
Still
It's
take
better
it.
to take it than not take it at all because
Yeah.
then it's in your system. You know, I was now me. I've been hard headed with my not my transplant medicine, but my seizure medicine. And my mom used to tell me all the time, you gotta for you not to have seizures, you gotta take the medicine so it can be in your system. But the medicine makes you so drowsy. It's some of the seizure
Oh,
medicine make you
yeah.
so drowsy. That's why I didn't take it unless I was
Mhm.
actually having a seizure. But that's what I'm still on. I'm still on my seizure medicine.
Okay.
I'm still on that. I think I'm gonna be on that since forever. They haven't taken me off that yet. And only thing that gets the seizure going is stress. So you gotta learn how to light your weight up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I say meditate to take it down and stay focused on the things that you love, you treasure close to your heart, because if you let the world stress you out, that's when your seizure's going to start to react. Hmm.
So, but now you pretty much, for the most part, get to live a normal life.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
I definitely live a normal life. Um, I just did. We just did an extravaganza for Thanksgiving for the homeless people. It was so fun. That was my first time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was so excited because I love doing things for the homeless people. I was like, dang, I love this, and I baked cupcakes.
Yay.
I created my first little taste bud test for the Fruit Loop cupcakes. I was like, this is gonna be great. And so I had an
Yay.
awesome time. And I said, this is good because it's going great down aligned with God. So I'm so happy about it.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
Right now I'm 38.
Okay, you still young. I'm old. Listen, I'm in my 50s. I heard you say this older lady in her 50s. I'm like, hello, that's me.
Yeah, this other lady, she's in her 50s. She's probably older than you though. I think she's like in her late 50s, mid 50s probably.
So
And
was there any
I'm
ever
in
thoughts of you as far as having children ever? Would that your medical situation prevent you from having kids?
No, I always wanted children. Since I was a kid, I see people with kids all the time.
Yeah.
And I be like, damn, I want that. I be like, I want
Yeah.
that. And because I want twins. I always say I want twin boys and identical twin boys. I want to be married. I be seeing people get married. I be happy for them, but I be like, hey, what's up with me?
Okay.
Five.
So then you gonna put it into the universe and
Mhm,
you're gonna
mhm.
ask God for what you want. and
Yeah.
then you're going to believe that he's going to deliver it. If that's what he has for you, just know that's what it's going to be.
Yep. That's exactly what I did. I put it in the universe. I sure did. I
Yes,
said, but you know, one thing I learned, you can't let nothing stop you. You gotta keep going.
keep
As long
going.
as you're going for God, that's it.
That's right. You keep going. And you are such an inspiration because you know you're not the only one who has gone through not having kidneys and having to wait, be on the list for a transplant. So
Hmm.
your life right now, you're a walking testimony for those, and you give them hope that they too one day will be able to go and pee. Like we take the simple things for granted. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
your story serves as such a powerful testimony. You have been nothing but courageous since you were 5 years old, Amenna.
Yes, it's been great. It's been a
A
tough
journey.
journey, but
Yeah.
trust me, the light came out at the end, and I'm really
Yes.
blessed and happy.
Yes.
You know, I'm so happy about it, and I do want to encourage others. You know, no matter what it looks like, you're going to come out of it.
Yeah. With
Hmm.
with with God by their
With
side.
God always. Yes,
Yes.
because He's holding your hand. As long as you them needles, them whatever you getting, trust me, He's holding your hand right with you. He taking those shots right with you, because He did it. He did it. He did
He
it
did
every
it for
step of
you.
the way for me.
Yeah, he
Shoot,
did.
I remember when I was outside having my seizures, it was Him that was guiding me to get back home.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mm.
telling you, He's there for you always. All you gotta do is diligently seek Him every day.
Wow. I just want you to know that your story has really, really, really made my heart smile.
I thank you.
Just to hear, yeah, just to hear you talk about it now and talk about, your struggles and it just put another, sometimes when I hear these stories, it makes me so much more grateful. You know what I mean? I'm grateful every day, but there are moments like this that make me realize how grateful and thankful I am for God's mercy and his grace. And I'm
Yes.
thankful that he spared your life, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Me too.
taking your kid, you had to have your kidneys removed when you were like 7 years old. He spared your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you were raped as a teenager, he spared your life. When you had to
Mm-hmm.
have the surgeries and the seizures and all the things you went through, the first time you got the kidney transplant and it didn't take, it took, but it was temporary. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just kept going, you kept fighting, you tried to take your own life. But God stepped in and said, no, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what we're going to do. And so I just want you to know, I want you to continue being a testimony for God, okay?
Yes.
Because you have really, really touched my heart tonight. And I know that you have touched the hearts of others. And I cannot wait. I want us to be able to continue to be connected because I want to be able to be in tune with you as you continue to grow older and continue to reflect back on how far God has brought you.
Yes, I will. I will continue to, I will continue to keep in contact with you. I sure will.
Yes, you will. You're not gonna have a choice because I'm gonna be, Amina, how things going? How you feeling? How them kidneys doing, girl? You still peeing?
I know, right?
Yes. Yes, yes. And anytime, you want to reach out to the Trauma to Triumph project platform for whatever reason, when we have our brunch symposium in March, I want you to make sure that you're able to come. So anytime that you think of something else that you want to contribute or add to this platform, you let me know. Okay.
Okay, great.
And I thank you so much. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your courageousness, your honesty. You were very easy to talk to. You got right to it. And I want to thank you for all of that because sometimes that's not easy to go back down memory lane and talk about all that stuff. So I
Right.
appreciate it so, so very much.
You're welcome.
And for those of you who are watching, I want to say thank you again for tuning in to another weekly episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. We are developing some amazing content, you all. We've got so many things planned for Trauma to Triumph coming up, and I am looking forward to 2023 and the possibilities that are in store for Trauma to Triumph. You all, it's going to be a really big deal. I'm claiming it right now. Let's touch and agree, y'all. Let's touch and agree.
Agree.
Yay. Thank you all again for not just watching and sharing this, but also for your continued prayers and also for your donations, because without your donations, I wouldn't have been able to get this far with where we are with this project. So I'm so super grateful for that as well. If you know someone who has a Trauma to Triumph story, please encourage them to go to the website www.trauma2triumph.com. I'd love your feedback on the website. The website is active and live now, so please go check it out. We also have a YouTube channel. I would encourage you. I'm asking you all to please go subscribe to the Trauma to Triumph YouTube channel. And yeah, I think I got y'all all up to date. My friend Ingrid is on here. Let's look at some of the questions. I'm so excited. Yes, TTT is going places, y'all. And thank you all. There's some comments on here from Elaine. Chef Elaine is on here. She said, "You are God's blessing." Yes, you are, Amenna. Yes, you are. You have been a blessing to many others as well tonight. So I'm just reading some of the comments. Yes, she's still standing. Amenna is still standing. Not only is she still standing, she is living triumphantly.
Yes.
Well, we are going to be back next Tuesday, y'all, at 8:30 p.m. with another amazing story of how we transitioned from trauma to triumph. We are going to heal the lives of millions of people of all ethnicities, all ages, and all backgrounds simply through the sharing of our stories. So I thank y'all again. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to start my cooking tonight. And yeah, and have a great weekend, y'all. And I'll see y'all next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Amenna, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This will be up on this interview. It'll be on my Instagram live, Amenna, but it'll also be on my YouTube channel. I'll edit it so I can take out a lot of the stuff I talked about in the beginning. So the YouTube channel will be up in about 2 to 3 hours tonight, just so you know. You'll be able to share it with your family and friends from YouTube.
Okay.
Happy
Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy
All
Thanksgiving.
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.